I tried it, used my pension money.
Whoa.
I used what I've saved.
Whoa.
So I used everything.
Yeah.
It showed me flames.
Yo. Hi team, welcome back to another video and thank you so much for joining me today. If it is your first time here, and on this channel, we talk about all things related to managing our money and adulting in general. And today I am not alone, but I have yet another guest to unpack a financial conversation. And guys, today we are talking about leaving your 9-to-5 to go independent and start your own business. That is what we are talking about today. And I'm going to dive in a bit deeper as to why I felt the need to unpack this topic on the channel. But before I do, welcome to the channel, Zaks.
Hey, Sawona Segunjani. And thanks for having me.
I'm glad. I'm so glad, that you also agreed to come to the channel. Not a lot of people are comfortable about talking, talking about money. So I'm glad that you were eager to join the conversation and chat to us about this. Now, a bit of context, guys, before we get to know Zaks a bit better. So I've always wanted to talk about this, leaving your 9-to-5, quitting your job and going independent and starting your own business. And the reason for that is because we know that pre-COVID and during COVID, we saw a lot of videos and people, saying, hey, I've left my 9-to-5, I'm going to do my own thing. Either I'm going to do something related to what I was doing or something completely different. I'm starting my own business. I'm going independent. I'm consulting, all of those things. And the entire time I'm watching those videos thinking, I'm such a risk-averse person personally, right? I'm terrified of risk. I'm working on it, especially when it comes to investments, because I understand the importance of not being too scared all the time. But I watched all of this and I said to myself, one day I actually want to talk to someone who's done this, get into their heads about how did they feel before? How did they plan if they did? What did, what were the effects and all of those things? So that is what we are talking about today. Zaks, before we dig in, who is Zaks? Where does he come from? Where did he grow up? What was life like for you in the beginning?
Oh, okay. Thanks again. And Zaks is Zaks Tsotetsi. I grew up in Orange Farm. I'm a passionate entrepreneur about finance and investments. So grew up in Orange Farm, like I said, I did my schooling there. Then once I finished my matric, I went a vet to study BCom economics, right? Life when you grew up, obviously, my mother, of which she's a single parent who raised us, me and my brother, right? She was not financially savvy. Mm-hmm. She was not financial savvy at all. And when you grow up, you do those minor issues as a finance, and then you don't understand the finance at all. That's where my love for finance came from, right? Because you grew up in an environment whereby you see there's certain people who are living well and you're not living well, right? What's the difference? Why does it happen to be like that, right? And then that's where my love for wanting to make more money, to learn about how money is being made, how I can grow it and stuff like that. It came from there.
Okay. A lot of similarities between you and I, hence us connecting on social media to come to this conversation, because it's so similar to my journey and why I also, the financial literacy and, money management sort of passion hit. It's because of those same circumstances. So now you go and you study, you become economics at Wits. And then after that, what happens?
So after that, what I did was I joined an organization, Soweto, it's called Sky, Soweto Tiklan Youth, right? Through that organization, I had an opportunity to join another organization. So this organization had a yearly program. It's a program that was brought to South Africa. It's a US program that was brought to South Africa by Tatu Mandela and Bill Clinton in 2005.
Wow.
So I had an opportunity to join that yearly program. After you're done with that yearly program, you have two choices. One is you can go and do your internships or your learnerships. The other route is you can go and start your business, right? But by then, I knew that in terms of business-wise, because I just tried minor businesses while I was growing, selling sweets and then selling vegetables, doing all those stuff, trying my hands on running a tuck shop, but it didn't work, right? So I wanted an experience first. That's why I went into the corporate world. Right. And
so you had two options after the program.
Yes.
You either get formal employment or you start a business.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's really good options, especially back in the day, because I feel like starting a business and being an entrepreneur was not an option for many people that was like highlighted and brought to us that, hey guys, you can actually start a business. I think more so for most of us, it was drilled in us that you have to go that route. So it's interesting that you sort of had that opportunity, or rather you had that flag earlier on in your life.
Yeah, but it's because, you know what, once you've done isn't it, because I've always been a person who's interested in entrepreneurship, right? But the business that I was doing, it's something that you can, if you're selling sweets, right? It's you selling, and then you can have money for that certain time, right? And as you grow up, you realize that you need something which is sustainable, right? And in order to go from where you are to a stage where you have something which is sustainable, right? You have to get an experience first, right? And with getting experience, obviously, you need to go to either a corporate world, get a job and learn, and then come and implement what you've learned from that job.
Oh, so interesting. So when you were given those two choices, you already had experience in the one choice, which was running your own business, even though it was a small scale, but you knew what goes on that side. So you wanted to now test this other side, which is the corporate job. Okay, cool. So you get into the corporate space.
Yeah. And then I went into, my first job was at Citibank. I was within the IT department there. I did my 4 years. Yeah, it was tough, because remember, you get to a point whereby I think it's within me, right? You get to a point whereby you feel like, yes, I've reached this level and I don't seem to grow over this level, right? And I left after 4 years, and after 4 years, I did something for about 2 to 3 months outside of work. I tried another business, right? It was a graphic design business with one of my friends. It failed badly. And then I had to go and look for a job, of which I got an opportunity to join Standard Bank.
So just wait, Ned. Yeah. So you have this corporate employment job and you decide to quit. Yes. This is the first time you quit, guys. So Zaks has done this more than once. This leaving your job and starting your own business, he's done more than once. So he's got quite a bit of experience in this space. But what I want to know is, when did you prepare for quitting at the end of this 4 years when you felt like you were frustrated and you weren't growing? So before you quit, did any preparation go into that? Or did you just say, hey, you know what, I'm frustrated, I'll see?
You know what, at that time is, for me, it was like, Nkatele, and if Nkatele, I need to do something about it. I don't like complaining. I'm not a person who likes to complain, right? If something doesn't work for me, I'd rather find solution at that time, right? So my solution was, I'm gonna quit, and there's nothing that it's gonna stop me. And some of the colleagues were like, dude, you can't do this, You need to find something in order to quit. You leave the job to join another job. I was like, at the moment, I've been sending out CVs and I'm not getting anything. Then what should I do? Should I stay here and be miserable? No, I'm not going to do that. Then I quitted my job. I went to try a business, of which it didn't work also.
Okay, this is the graphic design. Now, my second question is, this BCom economics, IT space, financial service provider person decides that he wants to start a graphic design business. Why? Why graphic
Yeah.
design?
So reason being is at that time, right, what I saw was graphic designing was big. It was the time whereby blogging was starting to become famous, right?
Okay.
Your website, if you're running a website, you could do your Google ads and stuff like that, and people are making money. But it's I'm doing this research looking at the overseas market, right? It's okay, there's people who are making money online. Why not? Let me try something, right? And then a friend of mine who was a graphic designer, and he introduced me to a couple of softwares, and we started playing around designing our website, our business cards, and from there going to our blogs, how blogs work, how to make money through your online ad spaces and stuff like that. We tried that.
Okay.
It didn't work. Yeah.
Okay,
it
cool.
didn't work.
Before we go to what you did when that first business didn't work, how are you sustaining yourself financially in this period of figuring it out in this graphic design business? What are you using for rent and your expenses?
Yeah, at that time, obviously in Sashala Ekaya.
Okay.
And I don't have a car, I don't have a scholar or so. I just save. I think I was saving about 80 to 90% of my salary.
Wow.
Right? Because
while living at home.
I didn't have, while living at home, and what I was using my money, like your 30%, I'll use it on clothes and going out with friends and going to some places. But most of my money, I will save most of my money. And on that space of 3 months,
Are you saving like because you know that one day you want to leave your job, or were you just saving because you
No. I'm just saving. Yes, I'm just saving because at month end, I have no responsibilities, right? I have no responsibilities. What I'll do is, so what should I do? Let me just leave it in my account. Let me use what I'm gonna use for e-transport, and then the one is going out and buying clothes. But the rest, it's staying there. I'm not even thinking about, at this moment, I'm not even thinking about one day I'm gonna quit my job and then try something.
Okay.
It's not even on my mind.
When that happened.
It just happened. The money is there, and then I'll use it whenever I need it. And obviously, when we start that graphic designing business, part of the money came from there.
Okay, to fund the business and also like your expenses. Okay, so the business doesn't work, the graphic design business number one. What do you then do when it doesn't work?
So if business doesn't work, I'm like, you know what? It's been like 3 months now, and we've going to a point whereby we're gonna exhaust our resources now, right? So we decide let's just stop with this thing. And then I started going to a job market again. I looked for a job. I got an opportunity at Standard Bank. This time as that's what I was saying to you. I had just an interesting start, right? With all this corporate journey. So now I did become economics, went into AIT, right? But luckily, I've been in the banking and the financial sector. The IT was within the financial sector. Then when I went to Standard Bank, I'm doing I'm a subject matter expert now for my interest rate derivatives, right? I did that for 2 years. After 2 years, I started to fall in love with this concept of the trading. I've never been in trading, but now because at Standard Bank, I was in Google Global Market Division, right? I go and see I'm traders, those interest rate derivative traders, and then I get to know a couple of them, and then their language, what they're talking about. They're talking about money, the bonuses, the big fat bonuses that they're getting, right? I'm like, I think this is what I want to try. And then you look at the cars that they drive, and I'm like, and then the vacation that they take. And then the vacation they take, and then someone will tell you, which I remember at the time, a trader who was doing FX, he bought a Range Rover for him and his wife, right? bonus. So like, oh, no, this is good. This is where I need to go to, right? And I'm trying my ways to go through, and then I couldn't get a chance of ngingena. I'm like, okay, because they don't want to hire me, a dealer or a trader, what I'm gonna do this myself, right? I started learning about the trading. At the time I started learning about CFDs and then your commodities, how to trade derivatives and stuff like that. With the knowledge that I have and the people that I'm talking to, okay, I think I'm good now. After 2 years, I was like, okay, let me go and try it. Because, you don't want to waste time, actually. I still have time, and why not? I haven't reached 50 years. I'm still young. Let me go try it. Like, I can try this until I'm 60 years, and then if it doesn't work, it doesn't, right? You have to risk. If it works, it works. So after 2 years, I left. I tried it. I used my pension money. Whoa. I used what I've saved. Whoa. So I used everything. Then, it showed me flames.
So this time, obviously, are you now renting and stuff? Is that why you don't have as much savings as you did before?
Yes,
when you were living at home? Because now you've got a car, you're renting. So that's why you needed to use the pension money to basically fund this business.
Yeah. And at the time is, obviously when you go from your first job to your second job, there's an increase that you get, right? And I'm making this money. It's a lot of money for me at the time, right? I'm still young. So you buy your first car, you get a place to rent. Then after 6 months, you change that car, you get a better one, right? Golf. Yeah, I was having a golf man. So
plus you're seeing the dealer's car park, so that's also putting you under pressure.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you've got expenses, right? So you've got expenses. Did you understand the implications of withdrawing your pension fund? Did you know the tax implications and how much you actually get back when you make that decision to withdraw?
Yeah, I did because obviously I'll do my calculation first to see this is how much it's in on my pension fund, and if I withdraw it, right? I was like, for me, it's like, okay, sharp. Why should I leave it there? Let me just take it. I'm not going into any employment whereby I can transfer my pension from there to another one. I'm going on my own. Let me go try it, this thing, right? Because I have this thing on my mind. Obviously, it's a risk that I'm taking.
Yes.
But upside air corner, if this thing works, I'm set, right? I'm set. So that's how I view risk. Okay, sharp. What I'm doing right now, it's okay. I'm comfortable and I can manage, right? But will I still be happy with this thing after 10 years or after 30 years? If the answer is no, I'm like, okay, let me look at the upside. The upside corner, obviously this thing is risky, but the upside it's gonna set me to another level. That's how I view risk. Yes. So I tried it, and then it showed me flames. But at least not 3 months this time. It lasted about 8-9 months.
In this 8 months duration, are you seeing flames every month, or?
When you start is you have a good month, you have a bad month, and then on a good month you start thinking, good, man, this thing I got it. You forget your risk tolerance, and then you forget I'm a rules that you've placed in place. So it's okay. This is I need to start trading when it's structured like this. If it's structured like that, I don't. But because now you have that confidence, and it clouds a judgment, and then Ubona isn't there's wrong, thinking which one isn't there's right. Then you start risking a kuru, and then your loss becomes big now. And then once your loss becomes big now, you want to revenge the market, right? Once you want to revenge the market, it becomes even way worse Yeah, but then where you were, right? And yeah, you go from west to west to west situation.
And would you say, you know, specifically being in the trading environment, when now that pressure is there, would you say that you are also now trading with emotions? Because now
Definitely.
you need this to work. You need this to work and you're desperate.
Definitely, because obviously you have a target, right?
Yeah.
Your target, if let's say you targeted to make a 100K a month, and by then I was trading. I'm a CFDs, right? And you know, I'm a CFDs. If the position it's on your negative, you need to pay something in order to sustain a position here. Because if you're not, your broker will close it. Will close the position here. Yeah. So you have a target in a month, and if you lose a 20,000 of your capital, now you need 30,000, right? To go back to where you are, plus the 10,000 that you need in order to reach your limit, your target for a month, right? And if I'm now in a hole for 30,000, I'm start using emotions.
Yes.
Right? I'm revenge trading now.
Yeah.
Using emotions. I'm not thinking straight, and you do a lot of mistakes.
And it makes sense. It makes sense why you would. Okay, cool. Now, like you said, this business shows you flames. You realize that it's not going to work. So what is the next step this time?
You know what? I'm checking now. I'm beating myself because I've lost a lot of money, and I'm like back to square one much, right? But because now you have the debts, you have the model that you need to pay, and you have your risk tolerance. It start to be. When it started, it was like this. Now it start to.
Yes, you are very,
yeah,
yeah. I can see that changing. And I just want to mention again before you continue, guys, and we can have a trading conversation on another day because that's packed with a lot of knowledge. But remember that trading is not your traditional business where you just lose what you put in. If you are trading with real leverage and you are using derivatives, you can, like Zaks mentioned earlier, lose more than what you actually put in. So also just understand those dynamics, that it's not like I sold these suites to sell and then nobody bought them. Oh, well, you know, you can actually end up owing money more than what you initially put in as well. So it's quite risky.
Definitely. And then, okay, after that, I was like, okay, what should I do now, right? I need to go back to find job again, right? And this time I worked for, I think I got an opportunity. I was working for Absa Capital as a settlement officer. You must know, I'm taking everything that I need to take because I need to I need to make a living. You go from being an SME for interest rate derivatives, you're earning a substantial amount monthly, and then you come now to join a back office as a settlement officer. So the pay scales gonna huge difference between the two, right? But I had to take it, right?
Yeah.
And I had to take it so that I can survive. Luckily for me, after 6 months, I got a job at R&B as an FX business analyst.
I'm sure everybody is wondering the same question. How are these jobs just falling onto your lap? I know you're looking, but I mean, employment is not easy to get, especially in these type of markets. But somehow, when are you able to jump off and then jump back again? Because guys, I think most of us are scared, very scared of risk, because we've got this great fear that once you jump out, there's no way of coming back. And, you know, you've just lost out your chances because of the way the unemployment rate is and the way that the economy is at the moment. You're very scared that you might not get that opportunity. So how are you able to get these opportunities whenever you realize that it's not working on the other side?
Yeah, okay. So lucky for me, what I realized, right, at an early age is in networking, right? It's very important to a person. So if you are in an industry, you need to network, you need to know people, right? So that's what I'll do. Like if I joined a company, I'll ensure that I know people that are decision makers, right? And it's easy for me because I have a lot of contacts whereby if I say, I look for something like this, and then a person will like refer me to another person who knows that person. And it's easy if this and Funum Sevens or Uzamil, oh, I know Uzamil. I have a friend of mine who has a position open to into Equities, and then you'll refer me, and then you'll talk to your friend. Or if I come to that your friend of yours, say, I was referred by Andis. It's easy for me to get an opportunity, right? So for me, it was like I had that opportunity of learning at an early age, which I need to ensure which I have a network, right? And network, because remember I'm good business. I haven't established myself yet, right? But when it comes to corporate, I've already established myself, and I needed a network lab whereby if I need something or if I need to move now and and I need to move and get another job, it's easy for me because I'll just go through my phone and say, hey, I need something like this. Do you know a person who has an opening or doing a company which is hiring? So yeah, it's all about networking.
It's very interesting you say that, because I had a conversation with a guest of mine, and she said one of the most important things that she's realized in business as well is who are your friends and who do you know? And she was basically saying that, she's not in that mentality of having friends for the sake of having people just on your contact list. It's about what can this individual offer me in terms of value? When might I need Uzamile, and what benefits can he come with, and not in a bad way, but just to say that life is tough. And at some point you'll need certain doors open, and it helps when you have people who can not necessarily like they're just going to oil the doors and open them wide, but at least point you towards the right direction. Okay, so now
definitely,
settlement officer, and then you get back into the game.
Yeah, sorry, before I go back to getting back to the game, right? I just wanted to say this thing, because remember when we're talking about the networking, right? And the contacts that you have or people that you know, right? We didn't grow up whereby our parents will take us to Goma St. John's, right? Because remember when you go to St. John's, that school, it's expensive, but the education is the same. When they take you to St. John's, they're taking you there to create opportunities. I know people who got CEO jobs, who got the director job because they studied no banbani go escolenists, right? So we go to an employment, and then when you there, what you need to do, you need to also gather your contact and start building your network so that it can put you to the right doors, and then you open, make things easy for you.
Yeah, I think that's a great tip to actually take out of going and venturing on this business and starting your own thing. So where are we now? So we settlement officer, back office job, not paying very well. I just have a question as well in all of this and downgrading in terms of your pay scale. How's your debt situation looking like? Because I'm thinking we bought a car back then when we were boiling. We bought a car, we moved to a nice place. Now we stop making money in the business. Plus we get back to a job that doesn't pay well. So how is debt featuring into this now?
We are better, sis. We are better. Go be. Now that because I've upgraded to Imoto obviously ilapana standard leso, and you're not working, right? For whatever period you're not working for, you use whatever you have just to cover equate, right? And when I got to Absa Capital, I realized no, I can't live like this, right? Because now half of my salary is going to pay this car, and I need to pay my rent, right? So I made a decision, I'm gonna take the car back.
Okay.
Right? They took back the car. But I still need to pay, because remember when they take back the car, they needed to sell it, go to auction, and then I still needed to pay Imali that they didn't recover. And when they were selling that shortfall, that's what I paid. But obviously now I can breathe. I can breathe. And from there, when I got the opportunity to join R&B, things started looking, fairly
Better.
okay. Better. They started looking better. I stayed at R&B for about 6-7 years. But now within that 6-7 years, right, let me go back to 2017. So 2017, I'm starting the 7th business now, right, which I'm running currently. 2017. I've done 6 businesses which failed badly, and I've learned through all my failures.
And just now to bring everybody into this conversation, there's obviously the tuck shop, in the background. There's the small businesses as well, just in case you're counting with us. There's others, very small ones that were very quick, that Zaks did say he tried to run while he was employed. So that makes up the other businesses to bring us to this 7th one that you're talking about.
Yes. Thanks for clarifying that, right? And 2017, I'm like, okay, sharp. I think I've learned a lot, right? I've learned a lot through my failures, and I have a blueprint now, what I need to do, and I need to use my salary because what hit me inside is I love the entrepreneurship, right? I really
because
love
you keep going back,
right? Yes. So, and I know, Oguti, even if I can stay in a company for 10 years, this thing is still gonna eat me. So at least I need to imagine right. So this time I have a blueprint and I need to test my blueprint, but I'm not gonna quit my job.
Okay.
To go and do a business.
Not
that
like
was
before.
One thing. Not like one like before. When you know, no man, So so what I need to do now, I even realize, Uguti, is salary is actually a greatest tool to build whatever that you want to build. Whether you want to go to investment, whether you want to go to business, whether you want to go into venture into property investment, your salary is the biggest tool, right? That's what I realized. That was my first step. Then I said, okay, let me use this tool. This is what I have at the moment, right? I'm going to use this. I'm going to use my salary to fund and build my business. Then 2017, I'm testing everything, refining my business, using my salary. If things are not working well, I know at least I'm getting a salary that I can manage my expenses. And in 2020, I think it's 2020, then I decided to say, okay, now I can see my business. It's generating constant revenue and it's sustainable. Then I can quit my job and focus now on growing my business.
Okay. What is the first questions I wondered is, after you went back into corporate, what was the gap before starting your next business? Did you stay 2 years in and then start again? Was it an immediate thing? How long did you wait before you started this business?
Oh, no. So when I joined R&B, before I started this business, I think it was about a year before I started with starting this 7th one. Okay.
And another thing that I've been wondering as well is, where is your family in all of this? Like, where is your Black family? Because I can imagine calling Mama and telling her that, Mama, I'm starting a business and I'm leaving my job, more especially if I'm going to do it 2 and 3 times. Like, how are you managing, that uncle or that, or your mom or whoever saying, hi, Bolumdana, like they got the best opportunities, why aren't they staying until they're the senior manager and all of those things that we are used to? How are you handling those voices?
So here's the trick. I think the first one, I've learned from my first one, right? From the first one, when I told them that, you know what, I want to try this thing, right? I want to quit my job and try this thing. And they were like, hey. So Umama Umsu today was like, hey, Ngwanaka, why taking them? All right, you need to stick there. How to try business? Hey, they have work business. I'm like, you know, and then people will discourage you. People really discourage you, right?
Yeah.
And obviously, when you're working, you have most of your friends are working, right? And you can't be saying, hey, Jens, you know what, I'm going to try this thing, because they're not entrepreneurs and they don't know the struggles as an entrepreneur. Like, Joe, keep your job, you have a good job, sebenza, build up yourself, corporate world. And from there, I realized, if something it's personal to you, right? Sometimes you don't have to tell people at the moment when you take the decisions, right? Yeah. So that's what I've realized after, because I'll tell them and they were discouraging me. But hey man, okay. So I took it by force, didn't listen to them, and things didn't work, right? Now, do you understand? Even worse. Like, yeah, we told you. Yeah. Don't ever do a stupid mistake like this. And going to a Manyama business, I was like, okay, because I've tried the first one, it didn't work. I'm not going to tell anyone. Sense of Jela, if I've already taken the decision and I'm already doing that thing, and then and people are thinking, maybe it can't
were you financially responsible for anyone during this period, be it a child or you know, a sibling or any? Like, I want to know, did anyone depend on your salary that you were stopping, or was it just for you? So
on the first one, no.
Okay.
But Kulawa Amanye, yes, I did have my responsibilities, right? I needed to look after my younger brother, and then Ekaya made a share something yana every month, right? And again, I think that's the thing that gave me motivation. If I'm earning this salary, obviously I know now I'm looking at living well, right? And I still have abantu that are looking for me, but provide for certain things, right? I really need to get something that will put me to a level whereby if uti uceda I 500, you wanna go buy shoes for iskona, and Logan zoti month end, wait for a month end.
Yeah.
You see, yes. So I did have learned, and it's one of those motivation game. I needed to get to a level whereby I'm comfortable financially.
And you felt like the monthly thing was going a bit slow for you in terms of the responsibility.
It definitely,
you had,
yes.
And what you wanted to achieve. You felt like you were waiting for too long, and it was growing, like you said, at a very slow pace that you couldn't necessarily, you know, control. Such an interesting story. I'm really enjoying it. Where is Zaks now? How are you currently, you know, making money at this number 7 stage that you find yourself in now?
Okay, so currently I run it's an investment and a finance company. It's a startup, right? So what I do is I do financial markets trading, but the financial markets trading part that I'm doing is for e-business. That's how we generate imali go business. And I have 2 guys that I'm working with that they trade currencies, equities for e-business, right? That's how we make money. And then we have an advisory division whereby we teach people how to also do e-trading on their behalf, right? But we don't trade for people.
Okay.
So yeah, so the trading part that we do, it's for e-business. That's how we make money. That's how we get paid. And then that's how we build a business here too. We invest.
And it's you and 2 other traders.
Yes.
Okay.
And then now we invest go finance tech companies, and then we look at our property sectors. So we'll do our rental properties, and then we'll flip our properties again, just to have a diverse portfolio, because the trading part in market, it goes up and down, and then we have I've learned. Yes, I've learned, definitely I've learned. And then we have this constant revenue that comes from the property business, whereby we have our rental incomes and then we're flipping our properties. So that's how we make money. And then on the advisory side, that's where we teach people how to trade crypto, blockchain, and equities. And then we do finance, wealth plans for them, but educational finance and wealth plans.
Okay, so you basically
just to show
teach
them,
people, you know, this is what we do, this is the knowledge we have, and this is how we basically do whatever. And like you said, you don't trade for people, you don't make financial decisions for them, you just share what you've learned with them, and then from there they can use that however they would like to use it. Knowing now, you've already mentioned quite a few, but what do you know now for sure that you didn't know in the beginning of this journey? It's been quite a long journey with a lot of businesses, a lot of up and down, celebrations, crying, stress, debt, you know, having to sell stuff. What do you know now for sure that you didn't know in the beginning?
What I know now is like there's I think maybe two things that I can mention, right? One is focus on your cycle of competence, right? If you are good in let's say marketing, for an example, right? You need to build yourself on the marketing field. Be an expert. Focus on that part, right? Be an expert, because if you are number 1, 2, and 3, that's where the money is. Don't go around, you do marketing today, tomorrow you are selling laptops, and then the other day you're doing
and then you design t-shirts.
You see, so you just need to focus on your area of expertise, learn as much as you can about that industry, be an expert. That's where the money is.
Okay.
And then the second part is, I think, learning how to allocate your capital. It's very important. Capital allocation is very important, right? If you can learn how to master capital allocation, I think half of your problems will be over. Most of all your Fortune 500 companies, your Apple, your Amazon, your Berkshire Hathaway, it runs by capital allocators. Those guys are good in allocating capital. You don't even have to be a Fortune 500 companies, right? You start where you are. If you are working at the moment, right, you need to learn about capital allocation. You're getting $100, your expenses are $70. You have that margin of $30. What do you do with that margin? How do you allocate it? Do you allocate it by going out? Do you allocate it by buying clothes? Do you allocate it? Or do you use that $30 to increase it? Do you invest it in something that is gonna grow to be $60, $70 until now it covers your expenses? That's capital allocation. You don't have to allocate to now learn how to allocate capital when you're dealing with millions. It starts with your salary. That thing, I've learned it late in my career. If I've learned how to allocate capital earlier, I think half of my problem would have been nothing.
Yeah, you were going all in, or you were all out.
Yes.
But yes. I think, you know, coming to an end, thank you so much for sharing your story for us. I think a lot of people are going to enjoy it, relate to it, and hopefully be inspired as well. But I think one thing I got, in as much as there were a lot of ish, you know, I'm seeing flames. But what I love about you is, you, as quick as you are to go in, you are as quick to go out, which I think we really need to learn that. You know, yes, you were quick to get that car because you really wanted it, but when you saw that you couldn't afford it and it was sinking you, you were also quick to let go. And I think often when it comes to finances, even though you see that it's not working, you know, so if you're listening, and you may be listening just for the story, but you don't necessarily want to go into business, but you're struggling financially and with your finances, be quick to also see that things are not working and the graph is moving this way, and don't hold on too long, you know, before you let go, because that's also important. And I think That's what I'm seeing from Zaks, that he saw that, okay, things are not working. Okay, let me go back in and let me try. Okay, let me go back in. And you're also very quick to learn. You're learning from your failures. You're improving yourself. And the second time you try better because you know better, right? The second time.
Definitely. And you know what? I think the decision that you need to take, it's impacted. Mostly people will waste time because you'll see, things are not looking good, right? Why am I keeping this car? You know, personally, right? No. I don't need to keep this car. I need to sell the car. But because of your surrounding, right, you take long of taking that decision. But you definitely know what you need to do. But because of your surrounding, like, if I take this car or if I downgrade, you know, you start looking surrounding your friends. It's okay. We were driving a BM and now Senzos and this and Tata. So the decisions, we take action on it. It gets long now because now you're looking at the surrounding. But if you don't look at the surrounding and say, okay, this thing is impacting me personally. I'd rather change my surrounding if it doesn't work for me, right? It doesn't work for me. If it doesn't, I'm changing it. So you need to make a decision quick. If it's not working, it's not working, move to another things and learn from your mistakes. The sooner you make that decision, the better.
For you. And it's for you at the end of the day, not for people around you, like you said, but for you. Thank you so much, Zaks, for joining us for this conversation. I learned quite a lot, and I'm sure everybody listening in will learn a lot as well. I'm going to link Zaks's social media link if you would like to follow him or connect. I'll definitely make sure that I leave his details in the description box. Thank you for joining us. Please do come back. There's a lot of topics that came up in our conversation that I think need to be further unpacked entirely on its own. And to you guys, team, thank you so much for watching yet another video till the end. I really do hope that you enjoyed it. If you liked it, don't forget to give it a huge thumbs up and do consider subscribing to this channel if you haven't, so we can see you in other conversations. Bye.
Bye.